everyone, this is April from Cuddle Me Beanies Designs, and today I am going to show you how to do the Celtic weave stitch. This has become quite a popular stitch in the last couple of months, and I have designed a few patterns using this stitch, and so I thought I would do a tutorial to show you how to do it. So I have just made a few regular rounds of double crochet. You can work a Celtic weave stitch over a half double crochet, but for this tutorial I am going to do it over a double crochet. Now you will need to know in this tutorial how to do a treble crochet. I'm not going to go over that too much with you. I'm going to assume that you already know how to do a treble crochet and a front post and back post treble crochet. So yeah, let's just get started. What you do is you will be working in multiples of 4, so you can make it as big, long, anything as you want, and this is done in the round, as you can see. I have had a really difficult time finding a tutorial on how to do the Celtic weave in the round, so it's always done in rows. So I hope this helps most of you. Let's just get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3. Now the chain 3 really doesn't count as anything in the Celtic weave stitch, the one I'm doing anyway, so this is basically just to get you to where you need to go to work the Celtic weave. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip the first 2 stitches. As you can see, there's the first and the second, and you're going to work 1 front post treble crochet around the next 2 double crochets. So we're going to skip the 2, we're going to go around the next, there's your first. Then you're going to do another front post treble crochet around the next stitch. Now this is basically just a foundation row, kind of. It's what's going to get you started into the Celtic weave. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the 2 that we skipped, and you always are going to work from right to left or in the order that they are. So don't confuse the 2, like don't work in this one, you're going to work in the first one that you skipped. So we're going to go back over and do a front post treble crochet around that first skip stitch. And then we're going to do another front post treble crochet around the second skip stitch. And there you have it. Looks like an X. Okay, then the next part is, you can see these already were part of the first 2, so you're going to skip the next 2 stitches, which are right here, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to work 1 front post treble crochet in the next 2 stitches. So there's the 2, you're going to work around the next. And again into that next stitch. Okay, then we're going to go back over and we're going to work 1 front post treble crochet in the 2 that we skipped. And like I said, always go from right to left or the first stitch that you skipped. And again, in the one hiding kind of right there, we're going to work a front post treble. Okay, and there you have 2 crossovers. So we're going to continue that exact same pattern. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, which are right here, and then you're going to work a front post treble in each of these, and then cross back over and do it in those. So I'm going to go around and I'll meet up with you at the end. Okay, we're back at the end of the row for the first kind of foundation row for the Celtic weave, and I haven't slip stitched yet, so I could show you where to slip stitch. Now, like I said, this chain 3 really doesn't count for anything, so we're not going to even count that as a stitch. So we're going to slip stitch into the first treble crochet stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch. Oops, sorry, you couldn't even see that. There's your chain 3, and then there's your first stitch. So we're just going to slip stitch right into there. So the chain 3 does not count as a stitch at all. Okay, now this is where it kind of gets a little more difficult because we're going to be turning our work, but we're going to be working on the same side. Anyway, I'll show you how to do it. This is really not a difficult stitch. Once you get going, it's just a really fun stitch to work. Actually, probably one of my favorite. So we're going to chain 3, and we're going to turn our work. Now, we are going to be working on this side. So we're going to be doing back post treble crochets instead of a front post treble crochet. We'll be doing the back post, but we're going to be working it exactly the same way. So for this first, we're going to skip the first 4 stitches, and like I said, this chain 3 is here just to get us to the next spot. So we're going to skip the first 4 stitches, which is the first X we made. I always just remember it as working in the next. So you can count over 4 stitches if you want to, but you can see on this side, if I turn it, I hope you can see that okay, that we have these 2 stitches right here. That's where we're going to be working our first 2 back post treble crochet. So like I said, in the order that they come, we're going to work our first back post treble crochet here, and then we're going to work the next back post treble crochet here. So I'll show you how to do that. So we've yarned over twice for our treble crochet. We're going to insert our hook in around that post, and we're just going to work our treble crochet like normal. Okay, now we're going to do that again in this next stitch here. I hope you can see that okay. Okay, we have that done. Now this is kind of where I started to get confused, but it's really quite simple. The first 2 or the first 4 that we skipped, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to work a back post treble crochet around these back 2. Now I know it looks a little confusing, but it is not, I promise. So we're going to yarn over, and we are going to go in front of, but in reality it's behind, but we're going to work into these 2 stitches. So I'll kind of show you my little trick. If I can look over the camera and do this. You can move these around, just get in there and find those 2. And I kind of just block them off with my finger so that I know where to go. Yarn over, go behind your work, go around that first post, and we're going to do a treble crochet. Okay, and there we have it worked around that first post. Now you've got this next post to go around. So we're going to go behind, you can see, and I'm grabbing it, so we're doing a back post treble crochet. Okay, and there's that first one done. Now, here I'll kind of turn it so you can see what it's starting to look like. Just kind of interweaving. Okay, then the next, this is where we're going to start our repeat. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches. Now if you can see, these ones we worked in already before in this stitch right here. But we're skipping over these back two, right? So we're skipping the next 2 stitches, and we're going to work 2 back post treble crochet in these next 2 stitches, just like we did before. So we're going to work back post treble crochet around this next stitch, and again back post treble crochet around that next stitch. And there you have it. Then, just the same as last time, go in and find the 2 that you skipped. They should be kind of sticking out here, but tucked in there. Does that make sense? So, we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work. Go in and find those stitches so that I know where to work. There they are. We're going to yarn over and do a back post. Whoops. Go find those again. Find that stitch. Now, you know, I do it mostly by feel, where I can feel the stitch. If it's easier for you, there's that next one. If it's easier for you to visualize and see it, but I mostly do it by feel. Okay, so we have our next one complete. Now we're going to continue that. Now I know it might get confusing because you're thinking, oh well, there's the next 2. That's not. We've already worked those. So you're going to jump all the way over to here, and that's fine. That's what the treble crochet, the longer stitch, is for. So keep doing that exact same thing all the way around, and I will meet back up with you with the last stitch, and we'll continue on from that in the round. Okay, we're back to the end of well, the round 2 with the Celtic weave, and I am at the very end. I haven't worked the last Celtic weave stitch yet, but you will notice I have one more to do. So here is my chain 3 from the beginning of the round. Now this is where it might get a little confusing, because if you'll remember, in the beginning we skipped the first 4 stitches in this round. So we still have these 2 unworked stitches, and it's the one that is after the chain 3. So like I said, the chain 3 doesn't really matter at all in this case, in this stitch. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to work the back post treble crochet in these 2, and then from behind the chain 3 we have the last 2 here that weren't worked also. So this is just your last cross. It's exactly the same way as we've worked the rest of this round. It's just we're grabbing the 2 stitches here and the 2 stitches here to make the X, in, you know, the one in front of and behind the chain 3. So let's do that. Just go ahead, do the exact same thing, do your back post treble crochet around that first stitch, and then we're going to do another back post treble crochet around that next stitch, get some more yarn here. Okay, now just like before, go back and work your back post treble crochet around each of those 2 stitches. My word, it doesn't want to stay on my hook today, does it? Go back to those. I hope it's coming off on camera okay. Oops. Okay, let's find those 2 again. There we go. Go back. behind. It's hard to do. Sorry, it's hard to do it with the camera and try and see it in through a camera screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, I just had to look, not through the camera. We'll work our treble. And then again around the next. Okay, now we've completed that, and find our chain 3, which is right here, and we're going to slip stitch exactly the same as the previous round. We're going to slip stitch to the first treble crochet. And there you have it, and that's kind of what, let me back up so you can see here. It's kind of what that stitch is starting to form. Now I'll help you with this next round, but it's so much easier because you're working front post instead of back post. So turn your work after you've chained your 3. Let me get close again. Okay, just like before, we're going to work it exactly the same way. We're going to skip the first 4 stitches, and then we're going to work 1 front post treble crochet in the next 2 stitches. And again around that next post. Now we're going to cross over and come back. It's to these little stitches tucked in behind there, the ones that we skipped. You can kind of see them. You'll just have to go in and dig for them, but this is a lot easier than the other. So we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to come in front of the ones we just worked. So we're just going to come in, find your stitch, and work front post treble crochet around those next 2, and then you have the other one that's kind of tucked up under there, and we're going to work a front post treble crochet around that one. So much easier. Now we're going to skip, this is our repeat now, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, which are the ones tucked in behind here. We're going to work into the next, so you'll always be working into the top to start off with. So we're going to work 1 front post treble crochet around the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to go back to the ones that are tucked up under here nicely. You can kind of see them right here. And we're going to cross over, and we're going to work 1 front post treble crochet in the next 2 stitches. Grab my yarn here. Okay, and there we have the next one worked. I'll do it one more time for you. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, which are the ones tucked in behind there. And we're going to work in the next 2, work a front post treble crochet, and again around that next post. Okay, and then we're going to go back over, cross over, and work 1 front post treble crochet in each of the next 2 that we skipped. And you always start in the first one that you skipped, remember? There's that one. and then the next one's right there. Like I said, just go in and pull the stitches. It's not going to hurt your work. Just go in and find those stitches. Make it easier for yourself. Okay, and there we have it. I'm going to continue around the row, but this is what it's going to look like. Kind of the interweaving, which is a really fun stitch. Really fun to work. I promise that once you get started and figure it out, it's so easy and it is such a fun stitch to make. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just leave them down below. I'll try and answer the questions as they come in, or I'll leave links down to my Ravelry and Craftsy shops if you're interested in any of my patterns. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the Celtic weave stitch.